Ciao football lovers of the world, ciao Juventini of the world, ciao calcio lover of the world. You know it on the channel, a lot of time we repeat, football is the most important things of the non-important things. And that's why, before speaking about the non-important thing that is football, that is Juventus, we'll start with the important things. I really wanted to send my sincere condolences to Joe Barone, that unfortunately yesterday passed away, 57. Big loss for Fiorentina, big loss for calcio, big loss for football, big loss for his family, for his friends, for the people that knew him. And it's a real pity because a lot of people that I know, because I never met Joe Barone personally, but that knew him, only told really well about him. So I'm really, really sad about that news. We already spoke about it yesterday during the live, but I wanted to start that video with, because there is no shirt, there is no color in these difficult moments. Like there are no colors, there are no shirt when we are speaking about racism. And that's why I will briefly, in a few seconds, answer the comment of Hasnoa that told me, Beppe, I'm surprised that you didn't speak yet about the Acerbi Juan Jesus situation, especially because we are speaking about our enemies Inter. In these kind of cases, we don't care about who it is. We don't care about enemies rivalry, the shirt that you are wearing, Acerbi, Lukaku, Higuain, Vlahovic, we don't care. Which supporter, we don't care. We just don't care. We just have to stay at one big point. We condemn these kinds of episodes. They are absolutely not okay. We can't accept them. Why didn't I yet speak about it? Because there is an investigation in place. Like you say on Gazzetta dello Sport, scontro mai visto, Acerbi Juan Jesus, il caso razzismo. Two versions, and now the investigation is asking also more details about video and audio to be sure, because they want the truth. And from the moment that we have the final truth, when we also have the consequences, the punishment, I will give, of course, my opinion about it. Now it's too early, even if, from what I know, from what I heard, total solidarity with Juan Jesus, that is extremely important. That's what I wanted to say. You know my point of view about it. We will come back on it when we have the final details. I want to speak about Juventus with Max resta in sella se si qualifica per la Champions. If Max Allegri will qualify to Champions League, he will stay at the head of Juventus. You see him smiling on a zebra. Look, do I really want to comment that news of Gazzetta dello Sport? Yes, I would, because I know that a lot of Juventini that wants a change immediately. If not today, it had to be done yesterday. Well, I don't want to go too much in detail about it. For what reason? Because we go back to 2 days ago. Max Scotta hitting Max with the flames under Allegri. We're speaking about Monday. We are only Wednesday. 2 days went through. Where they're saying the future at the old lady is now in big trouble, in big doubt. Look, I can't comment the news of Gazzetta dello Sport on Monday where he's at doubt, there are flames, and 2 days after, Max Allegri is at the head, if he stays and qualifies for Champions League, of a Max Allegri on a zebra. Why are they going with two total different versions? It's easy, because at the moment, Juventus Football Club, the management, they went with one way. Publicly, but also until it is possible, until the end of the season, we all stick together. We all stick with the coach. We all back up publicly, which is important. One voice, one way. Then we decide. And at the moment, we all stick together. We have two objectives to reach: qualification to Champions League, Coppa Italia. These words were said by Maurizio Scanavino. Today there was a business talk. Today the words have been reported. He spoke about a lot of diverse topics that are important, super important. First of all, saying thank you to the supporters. 15 out of 17 sold out in our stadium, which is huge. 95% seat occupancy, which is really, really huge, which is great, which is fantastic. But also speaking about the media project, you saw it with Creator Lab, but not only. Social media, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, all these kind of things we are doing extremely well. And a lot of people will say, Beppe, but who cares about TikTok? Don't underestimate the volume, the numbers. Why? Because numbers are attracting viewers, are attracting audience, are attracting new supporters. But at short term, It's attracting new sponsors, better deals, because they have more visibility. Like the Club World Cup, repeated today by Scanavino, an opportunity for visibility, something that I kept repeating you even before we knew that we qualified to that competition. And then he says something important. As a company, so not speaking only about football, but as a company, we are finalizing our capital increase, a fundamental initiative in laying the foundations of sustainability. Sustainability is a word that he said really clearly in August. And I always send you back to that video I made about August that was, according to me, a really clear video about vision that you can agree with, that you can't agree with, that you don't agree with. We don't care. The vision has been explained in a really clear way. And then he's repeating sustainability and increasing competitiveness in our project for the next 3 years. The next 3 years. We already told you, we already spoiled it a few days ago. The idea of Juventus to go back in break even will be at the end of season 25-26, beginning of the season 26-27. Does that mean that in the meanwhile we will do nothing? Absolutely not. But there is a clear plan that step by step we are respecting. And then in speaking about football, we said, look, let's speak about football, which is our core business. And that's important. What is the core business? It's not media, it's not Creator Lab, it's not TikTok, it is football. And it's good to repeat it to the people, but also to hear it from Juventus. They are saying we started with great enthusiasm, we started with great result, everything was going well, things were going well. Now we are in a complicated moment. The period is tough, is difficult. Sometimes I feel we performed, sometimes we didn't perform, sometimes we deserve to lose, sometimes we didn't receive what we probably deserved. Speaking probably about Atalanta and Napoli. But he's saying that's why we don't get down about it. There is a great confidence in the team and in the coach, and together we are working to find the keys to start again as soon as possible and to reach the goals of our season, which are qualification to the Champions League and reaching the Italian Cup. Okay? Publicly, he is repeating, we stick together. He's not speaking about next season. He's just speaking about now. We stick together because we have an objective to go and to reach together. And I think it's really important. So for people that were asking, will Max Allegri be dismissed now immediately? You have your answer, that you like it or that you don't like it. If you want to know a bit more about it, go back to the videos of yesterday and the day before where I went a bit more into detail into that. Now, what is sure is that in this Juventus, we are lacking leaders. And that's also an article from Tuttosport, who's saying Juventus, leaders are missing. In a team that not so long ago, we had players, people, men like Del Piero, Buffon, Chiellini, Pirlo. Well, we are lacking a bit of leaders. And that's something I told you, I repeated you, something that was really significant after that draw against Genoa, when it is Miretti, and you know how much I like Miretti, but when it's Miretti that goes in front of microphones, something is not okay. Just like that. Danilo, you know how important I consider him, and he already showed to be as a leader in the locker room. I miss a bit of support to Danilo, but also a Danilo on the field that is in difficult moment being able to change that situation. Speaking about leaders, well, there is one that received that vice captain armband this season after Locatelli, Rabiot. Rabiot had yesterday spoke in Clairefontaine with the national team of France, where he said, I didn't decide yet. We are just doing a remake of what we saw last season. I didn't decide yet. Where last season, he waited until the end to understand what to do. He decided to stay at Juve without any European competition, something that he was absolutely aware of, and he decided to go with it, which I was extremely grateful for. I was extremely happy. This season is not at the level of last season, also because of some minor injuries, but at the moment we are speaking about our best midfielder from the team. Why am I saying that? Because he's taking his time. He's also saying Champions League and Club World Cup can be extremely important and can be put in the balance before I will take my decision, a decision that I will take before Euro 2024, which I'm extremely happy about because I don't want to wait until July or August. It has to be at the end of the season decision, yes or no. I would love Adrien Rabiot to continue with Juventus. I would really love, not with 1 year, but probably I would love at least with 2 years, if not 3 years, because we don't have the power to have a total overhaul of our midfield. It is not possible, especially with a player where you can't cash in if you sell him, because he will leave for free. Yes, you save on a big salary, 7.5 million euro net, which next year, decreti crescita, yes or no, we don't know, can go up to 50 million gross, which is a lot of money. But we need, with all the games that we will play, I believe we need a bit more players. Quantity and quality. And losing a player like Rabiot, you are obliged to sub him with a big one. That big one should already arrive on top of Rabiot, not just to sub Rabiot. And that's why I would love him to stay. Then, if he leaves, like I always said, for any single player on earth, this is Juventus. You like it, you stay. You are not happy, you think it's better somewhere else for yourself or whatever, the door is there. We did it with a lot of players. Zinedine Zidane. Today I was thinking about Zinedine Zidane. Same, and that is valid for every single player. It is what it is. So hopefully he can stay. If not, well, he keeps repeating the same. And that's something that we have to say. At least he's really consistent. Every single press conference they are asking about his future with the same question, will you stay or not? And he's always saying the same. I take my time until the end of the season and then I will give my final decision if yes or no we can continue together. International break means there are some games. You don't go to a stadium to watch Croatia to monitor Modric. You know Modric is an open book. But there are some players that, thanks to international break, well, you have the opportunity to go and watch in another context than their club. And that's what Giuntoli and team will do in the next coming days, starting with some players. Because they are speaking about La Giuntolata. La Giuntolata is the magic touch of Giuntoli, referring to the Kvaratskhelia, to the Kim, for example, these kind of players. And he's going on a mission for 2 players, Sikan and Mitaj. Who is Mitaj? It's the Albanian player, a young player that is doing quite well. He was bought in Russia because he's playing in Russia for 2-3 million euro. His value increased to 5-6 million euro. Mitaj is a young player that is observed, and I tell you, I don't know the player. I don't know the player that well, honestly. It's not that I watch Russian competition or Albania playing football, even if I have to, because they will be the opponents of Italy at the Euro 2024. But I'm happy when I watched the role that he was playing at left back. How many times did I tell you, we need full backs? We need fullbacks, we need fullbacks. That's a name. A name, and the other name that is also there on that list is Doku. Not Doku, no, Dorgu, the one of Lecce, not Doku. Well, forgive me. No, otherwise you will be pissed off if he doesn't arrive from Manchester City. No, Dorgu, the player from Lecce that is another player that we already spoke about. And I like these young profiles that can give a boost there on the left side of the field. Anyway, when I see that Juventus is observing, well, I'm happy. Will he go full power immediately? No, because we need to qualify to Champions League, and faster we qualify, bigger the names can become. But you know, we are working on A, B, C players. Another player that will be monitored is not only on the left back but also as a striker. It is Sikan, the player from Ukraine. But I don't know him yet. I didn't have the time. So I need to really understand how he's playing as well. If yes or no, he can be a really great player. But at the moment, honestly, I don't know. So I need to understand. A player that will be further and further and further away is Sudakov. A lot of time on the list of Juve. A dream list, a wish list of Giuntoli. Well, Sudakov, I told you, he has a release clause. He has 100 million euros. I don't understand why a lot of Italian people are still speaking about him in objective of Juve. It is impossible. It is impossible. It is impossible for that amount of money. But on top of that, when he spoke and he said, you know, yes, it's true. I had offers. I had contacts from Juventus, from Napoli. I watched both teams playing and I prefer the team of De Laurentiis. This is what he said. So look, if you are a player that prefers going to Napoli, good luck. Good luck. not that he will go to Napoli, yeah, but he said, I watched both of them. I prefer the way of playing of Napoli, which I can even understand that, but that's really thinking short term. Maybe he's young, I don't know. Let's see. Anyway, Ciao Sudakov, I will not speak about him anymore. One that can leave is Kostic. Filippo Kostic could leave. Interest from French teams. Kostic, we know it. He's not doing a great season at all. It's a player that we didn't sign for a lot of money. Nikos Kira was writing about it. He's a player that could leave. Marseille is one of the teams that can be interested in the player. It's not yet over with Juventus, but he's a player that is on that departure list. And then we finish with Federico Chiesa. That's the last thing I wanted to speak about. Why? Because I told you a lot of time that excuse or that reason that he's playing a bit not in his role in that 3-5-2, he's playing as a second striker, is limiting him and he's not playing well. Look, today there was an article on Tuttosport that is actually confirming a bit what I'm telling you. Not that we are right, but I'm happy that seeing that journalists are speaking about the same, showing also heat maps of seasons, where probably the problem is that he's playing too much on the left side and not enough in that 3-5-2, which brings us back to what I was telling you, if you play 3-5-2 and you show me that you can't play in that role, but you are in that position and you are not, then I can even agree. But if you tell me I can't play in a 3-5-2, but you are actually playing on the left, well, something is not working there. And also, Spalletti spoke about him. He said, more in or mode out, he needs to adapt. Also using half spaces, something that he's asking to Federico to improve. Let's see how the season of Federico will end, if he will have that click of, okay, I play on the left or I play in the center, whatever, with a 20 meters difference, but I need firstly to make the difference, not where I'm playing on the field. I need to be back the Federico that always put magic on the field, which at the moment I'm not doing that much. That was it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Maximum of like, don't forget to subscribe. Grazie, forza, Juve.